Now, y'all know I'm pretty hardcore about a lot of these churches and how they treat the people because our people go through enough. And these church houses are just taking money away from black people. And they should be helping black people. Case in point, you had a woman whose family members need to conduct a funeral for a loved one. They were members of the church for 50 years. And I want you to hear exactly how the pastor treated this particular family. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Went up on the pastor, his wife, the deacon, the church, the whole congregation, if they had something to say. Do you understand me? So me and my cousin, we get to the church to plan, to let them know how we want to plan the service or whatnot. Now, mind you, my auntie and uncle been members of this church for over 55 years. They pay their tithes faithfully. So the pastor turns around and say, that's going to be $800. $800 for what, pastor? He said, well, you know that in order for us to preach this service and do a nice homegoing, the church got to cook, and I got to pay my ushers to clean up, and then I got to pay some of my deacons to come. I said, you got to pay them to come to a homegoing for your faithful members? I said, let me ask you something. Where the money at when they pay their tithes every Sunday? Where they money at when they pay for pastor anniversary? Where they money at when they pay for church anniversary? Where they money at when you did fundraisers? Where they money at whenever you did these cookings and all this extra stuff? Where they money at when you needed something for your light bill? Where they money at when you needed something for your rent? Where they money at when your mama and your daddy passed? And the last time I checked, my auntie did the cooking.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. See, as black folk, when it comes to these churches, we going to have to be some forensic auditors and start asking them, we need a report of where every dime went, every dime. We want to know how much money was taken in and where it went. Because what's been going on for a long time, a lot of these preachers have been running a good hustle, running black people's pockets. The church is not the place where your pocket should get ran. It's enough the tax man taking money from you. It's enough. Price is so high in society. And listen, beyond with you, the way that they're running some of these churches, you can't afford to go. You do better staying home and reading your Bible. And maybe you can watch some church online if you really got to watch it. But hey, during the pandemic, people weren't going to them church houses. They're watching it online or whatever you need to do. You can make up your own Christian podcast. And you can be sharing the word with people no different than what I'm doing right now on this microphone. And you can probably connect with people and be more authentic if you start your own Christian podcast. You understand what I'm saying? There's no way that a family should be paying a church that they gave 50 years of tithes to $800. There's no way. You mean, no, it's not that they broke. That's greed. That's greed. Because, good and well Sunday, he collected tithes. So what you did with the tithes then? That's the question that this sister's asking. Her family members served that church all their life. And then when it's time for them to need something from the church, they got to pay. They got to get their pockets ran when they're mourning. That's low down and dirty, man. But this what's been going on in these churches, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep repeating this. The black pastor and the black politicians, they are the ones who's causing black America so much trouble. That is so wrong to be asking for a dime. You got to pay people. Oh, I got to pay them. I got to pay them. Look, bro, all the money that's coming into the church, it's easy to pay them. If they on salary, they can let it collect a check. That's fine. But what you need deacons there for? You need deacons for a funeral? Now, if somebody's doing security, that's different. But you don't have to pay people to show up to a funeral. I'm pretty sure there's enough people that will show up from the family. You just need to be there. If you got the choir, whatever, they be there, or whoever you need to do what you got to do. But black people, and I'm so glad black people are calling this stuff out by these churches. And I encourage black people to continue to call this stuff out when these churches do wrong. Hey, let me know about it. I've interviewed people in the past behind some of these churches where they've done wrong to them. You understand what I'm saying? And what I don't like about it, you make people even want to get turned off and not have a relationship with God. That's my issue with it. Because we need black folks to have a relationship with God, man. Because we need our people to get out of degeneracy. The only way you're going to stop being a degenerate, you got to have some holiness in you. You got to have some morals in you. And the only way you're going to get that is through the Lord. You're not going to get that living out here like a demon. And some people who are that way, a lot of times they were in the church. And you have preachers like this that was doing things like this, and even worse. You got preachers in the church chasing bussy in the church. Some of them sleeping with other men's wives in the church. That's why a lot of men like, yeah, I'm good with that church. That dude, he act like, I see the way he look. He don't look right. Dudes know another man. Listen, if you see a bunch of men going to a church, that means the pastor's a good dude. Because as men, we're not going to sit underneath no teacher, no dude that's a scumbag. We're not going to do it. And for sure, we don't want our wives around people like that. No, we don't want our kids around people like that either. Because you had a lot of them getting caught up too, like Epstein. But shout out to our sister here. Man, we got to continuously call this mess out. Keep calling out that black preacher. Keep calling out that black politician. We got to get this community straight. And the only way we're going to get this community straight is that we get those two entities straight. Because those two entities are lapdogs in white supremacy. They want their money. They want their positions. They want the little prestige they can get. Like they're the better blacks or whatever. And that's why they treat us no different. You got to remember, they used to preach on the plantation to make us docile. When our people saying, you know what? Hey, master go to sleep tonight. We burning the whole thing down. Hey, we chopping people. We doing all kind of things, right? To master the night. And we escaping. Them old dudes like that, we can't do that because the Bible say honor your masters. That's what they put them out there to do, to calm down black people. Instead of saying, no, God wants us to be free. Read the book of Exodus. That's what God wants. He ain't called me to need no bondage now. So they been a problem. You remember the story of Nat Turner? He was being used like that until he woke up and saw what he was doing wrong with his people, trying to make them docile. And our brother became a great freedom fighter. Yeah, he lost his life in the end, but hey, he still fought. He fought back. He helped free other black people. And that's one of the most beautiful things that he can do. So yes, call out them preachers when they do foul things like this, but not only just call them out, call names, call church locations, city and state, call names. That way other people say, oh, okay, that's what that church is on. I'm not going there. Because we need to let our people know, these places like this is going to run our pockets and treat us bad like that. No. Are they in there being a stomping ground for the Democrat Party? No, not at all.